Dreaming up palace intrigue? Maybe you've pictured yourself weaving a tale of secrets behind those grand gates, or imagined the drama that could unfold in the shadowy corridors of a royal residence. The allure of royalty is undeniable. Centuries of tradition, whispers of scandal, and the ever-present sense that something extraordinary is happening just out of sight. But before you let your imagination run wild, let's take a moment to talk about what it really means to write about real-life royals, and why there are some important boundaries you need to know. Before you cast real royals in your next script, let's set the record straight. There's a long history of writers, filmmakers and artists being fascinated by the lives of kings, queens, princes and princesses. Their stories seem tailor-made for drama, forbidden romances, power struggles, betrayals and triumphs. But when it comes to using real, living people, especially those in the public eye, there are some serious considerations to keep in mind. Writing about famous people is tempting. After all, who doesn't love a bit of royal drama? The glitz, the glamour, the high stakes, all of it makes for compelling storytelling. But there's a fine line between drawing inspiration from real events and crossing into territory that can be harmful or misleading. It's easy to get swept up in the excitement of creating a juicy plot, but it's just as easy to forget that real people's reputations and lives are at stake. But here's the deal. Making up wild stories about real royals, like giving them new faiths, inventing secret affairs, or stirring up fake feuds, can quickly cross ethical and legal lines. It's not just about what's entertaining. It's about what's fair, respectful and true. Imagine if someone wrote a story about you, twisting your words or actions into something you never did. It wouldn't feel great, would it? The same goes for public figures, even if they seem larger than life. It's not just about being nice. There are real-world consequences to consider. Spreading misinformation, even unintentionally, can damage reputations, fuel rumours, and even lead to legal trouble. Libel laws exist for a reason, and they don't just apply to newspapers or tabloids, they can apply to creative works too. So, when you're tempted to put words in a real royal's mouth or invent a scandal that never happened, pause and think about the impact. It's about truth, respect, and not spreading misinformation. The world is already full of rumours and half-truths, especially when it comes to high-profile families. As a storyteller, you have the power to shape perceptions and influence opinions. That's a big responsibility. When you choose to write about real people, you're not just telling a story, you're contributing to the public conversation about who they are and what they stand for. The golden rule? Don't put real, named people into damaging made-up scenarios. It's one thing to write a historical account based on facts, or to analyse public statements and actions. It's another thing entirely to invent situations that could harm someone's reputation or mislead your audience. If you're ever in doubt, ask yourself, would I be comfortable if someone wrote this about me? Would I want my words or actions twisted for the sake of drama? But don't worry, your creativity isn't stuck in the dungeon. In fact, some of the best royal dramas ever written are entirely fictional. Think about the worlds of fantasy and historical fiction, where writers invent their own kingdoms, dynasties and scandals. You have the freedom to create characters who are inspired by real-life royals, but who live in worlds of your own making. That way, you can explore all the intrigue and excitement you want without crossing any ethical lines. You can invent your own royal family's kingdoms and scandals. Want a queen who secretly leads a rebellion? Or a prince torn between love and duty? Go for it. The possibilities are endless when you're not tied to real people or events. You can draw inspiration from history, mythology, or even your own imagination. The key is to make your characters feel real, even if they're entirely made up. Or analyze the real royals' actual words and actions. There's plenty of drama in real life, and you can create compelling content by exploring what's already out there. Documentaries, essays, and analytical videos can dive deep into the decisions, speeches, and public appearances of royal families. You can ask questions, offer insights, and help your audience understand the complexities of royal life without making anything up. Want drama? Go big with fictional characters, not real headlines. The world of fiction is your playground. You can create rivalries, betrayals, and epic love stories without worrying about hurting real people. Plus, your audience will appreciate the creativity and originality you bring to the table. There's something special about a story that feels fresh and unexpected, even if it's inspired by real events. Storytelling is all about boundaries, and when you respect them, everyone wins. Your audience gets to enjoy a great story, your subjects are treated fairly, and you avoid the pitfalls of misinformation and legal trouble. It's a win-win-win. And remember, boundaries don't have to limit your creativity. They can actually inspire you to think outside the box and come up with ideas you might never have considered otherwise. Now get writing and make your imaginary court the talk of the town. Whether you're crafting a sweeping epic or a sharp satire, the world is waiting for your unique take on royal drama. So pick up your pen, open your laptop, or start your storyboard, and let your imagination reign. Let's take a closer look at how some of the greatest royal stories have been told. From Shakespeare's Hamlet and Macbeth to modern hits like The Crown and Game of Thrones, writers have always been fascinated by the power and peril of royalty. But notice how even the most famous works often blend fact and fiction, using real events as a jumping-on to fuel your story. Take inspiration from the greats, but don't be afraid to put your own spin on things. Maybe your royal family is nothing like the ones you've seen before. Maybe they're quirky, dysfunctional, or even a little bit magical. The only limit is your imagination. At the end of the day, the most important thing is to have fun with your story. Writing should be an adventure, not a chore. So embrace the challenge and let your creativity shine. Every story starts with a single word. Don't be afraid to take that first step. Whether you're writing a novel, a screenplay, or a short story, your voice matters. The world needs new stories, new perspectives, and new ways of looking at old traditions. And when you finally finish your story, take a moment to celebrate. You've created something unique, something that only you could have written. That's an achievement worth savouring. So go forth and write your royal drama. Just remember to keep it respectful, creative, and true to your own vision. The world of storytelling is vast, and there's room for every kind of tale. Who knows? Maybe your imaginary court will inspire the next generation of writers, dreamers, and storytellers. Thanks for joining me on this journey through the world of royal storytelling. If you found this helpful, don't forget to subscribe for more tips, inspiration, and creative advice. Until next time, keep dreaming, keep writing, and let your imagination reign supreme.